Jameson with 4 Leaves Glass, and first I'm going to start with a little bit of an update here. I want to share with you, you may recall I posted a video a couple of weeks ago where I was playing with a wall tile, this wavy wall tile that I bought at Lowe's. And so, and it was, you know, less than $3. I can't even remember how much it was, $2.82 or something. Anyway, so this piece is 24 inches by 12 inches. It has this really cool wave in it. It is a glazed ceramic. I didn't even treat it. I just put, as you can see, a couple of pieces of papyrus paper on there, which actually held its shape fairly well, so I didn't lift it back up in case I might do some other pieces. I did an experiment using this tile, turned out really well. Then I moved on to doing 2 actual pieces. I used Bullseye's peacock blue glass, and this is actually an irid glass, so can you see? Yeah, look at that color. But look at that wave that I got off of that. Let me hold it up here. So you can see I'm in my garage. Great background, right? This is where my glass workshop is. This is real life, people. So look at that wave pattern that picked up, and then I slumped it just into a square slumper platter. I'm just delighted with this. First of all, I'm just in love with this glass because of that beautiful iridescent. Hope you're picking that up. Now I am about to experiment with some more tile, so let me show you what that looks like. Here's what I'm going to experiment with next. So this is a piece that I picked up at Home Depot actually this morning. This is a square of tile that's pre-glued. You can see it to a backing there to make it easy to put on the wall. And that's all fine and good. That's not what I'm going to do with it though. So what I'm going to do here, I'll show you in a bit. I'm going to unwrap this, and then I think that these would be really cool squeezed up next to each other and used as a pattern to fuse onto. And I'm going to peel the backing off. I don't want to put that in the kiln. So we'll peel the backing off, and I'll show you that project here in a bit. And then I bought this other piece of tile. This was 99 cents. I bought this at Home Depot. I don't know how big that is, 18 inches or so. There's a little bit of kind of a wood, it's a wood look simulation, if you will. Floor tile, it's probably 18 inches by about 6 inches. That's not why I bought it though. I didn't buy it for this surface, I bought it for the back. Set that down. Look at that. Look at this really cool honeycomb pattern that's on the back. So the glass is going to pick up anything. As you know, even when you're using like kiln paper, it picks up the slightest little changes. So where it says Mexico here, it's got some coding, it's got this arrow to indicate which way the tile should be laid. I wouldn't want to use any of that because I wouldn't want the glass to pick up all that. But, and then it repeats down here at this other end. But you've got this nice stretch in the middle here, you know, from here to here, which is probably about 8 inches, maybe a little bit longer, and then you know, 5 inches wide. That is nice and clean and could be a really cool pattern. So I'm going to put a piece of glass on this and test this. I'll put kiln paper down first and then fire this and see if I can pick up that honeycomb pattern. Obviously doing something like that with opaque glass doesn't make sense. It's going to have to be transparent so you can see that pattern. So that's why I bought this tile, because I thought the back was really worth it. Okay, let's see what happens here. So I've got this tile now flipped upside down. I have it propped up on some posts, and this, I measured this. This from end to end, or from edge to edge, is about 5.5 inches within this patterned part before you get into the rough spot. And then these arrows are 10 in between those two, really like 9 3/4 if you want to be super safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply put down a piece of kiln paper. This is papyrus, and then I'm doing this real simple for my first experiment, which is just a piece of Tecta on the bottom. Tecta should pick up that pattern fairly well, and I'm really just kind of using scrap here because I'm just not sure how this is going to go. It's an experiment, so scrap it is. But I did find a piece of yellow. This is Bullseye 1122, I think. that fires yellow, and it's just scrap, and you'll see I have the rolled edge on there, but I was thinking, hey, that could look kind of cool. So if we end up with this like honeycomb pattern, you know, honey is yellow, so let's use yellow, let's use that honeycomb, and let's keep this rolled edge, because that could be kind of neat. So this is also a little bit of an experiment in that I'm only going to leave this to be single layer, so we'll see how much this pulls in on the bottom. So there will be a little bit of texture on here, I'm guessing, after I do the full fuse, but I just want to see what this looks like. I think I'll definitely pick up the honeycomb though through that paper. So that's that piece. Stand by for the next part. Okay, so now I've got this tile. Let me open this up here. And hopefully these come off of this piece relatively simply. See, it's got this webbing on the back that if you're laying tile on the wall, that makes it super helpful, because then you've got a consistent spacing. But I certainly would not recommend putting this webbing in the kiln, and I'm not even going to try it. But what I was hoping was that, yeah, see, I was hoping those would just peel off relatively easily, just like that. Isn't it great when a plan comes together? I shouldn't celebrate victory too early, because this could still not work, but I'm gonna peel the rest of these off and then show you what I'm up to next. Okay, I've got them off of that webbing. I am eager to go to a tile store, because they're gonna have a lot of cool patterns. This was really just a chance to go to Home Depot and try to pick something up on the quick. But see, what I'm gonna do now is, let's see, I don't know if you can see this. Let me move these. So I'm gonna put these on my kiln shelf. I'll show you a picture here. I'm gonna arrange them. You saw when they were on the webbing, they had more space between them. But when I'm arranging them, I'm gonna put them right up against each other, just like this. And I'm gonna put them all on the shelf together. And then I'm going to lay a piece of kiln paper over the top of them. But as you can see, there's still a ton of texture in between these lines. So I'm gonna take these over to my kiln shelf and arrange them as such. Show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see I've laid them down on the shelf as tightly as I can get them together. There's a piece of old papyrus underneath them. I'm not sure that that's necessary, because the glass is not gonna go through. Honestly, I just had that laying there and I didn't feel like cleaning it up. So now I've got them on the shelf. I'm gonna put a piece of kiln paper over them, and we'll lay some glass on it and fire it. So I'm probably jinxing myself by not just using a piece of scrap, but I'm feeling maybe a false sense of confidence about this one. So I used one of Bullseye's gorgeous pieces of peacock glass. And I would need more tiles to make this bigger, so I figured my usable space, I did a quick measurement, is 9 inches by 7.5. I could probably squeeze it to 8, but we're just gonna go 9 by 7.5. So that's what that is. I put a little clear powdered frit in between and capped it with clear. And then I happen to have this Creative Paradise Day of the Dead mold, tile mold, and I'm gonna do a piece in here as well. So I'm gonna fire this on the schedule. Boy, I can't think of my words. Excuse me. I'm gonna fire this on the schedule that I usually use for this texture tile, knowing that the others will pick up that same texture. I'll post the schedule below. I take it up to about 14:30, 14:35, and hold it for 10 minutes. So let's close it up, see what happens. All right, let's see what I get here. Oh yeah. Oh, these look awesome. All right, let's start with this one. It looks like it picked up the texture perfectly. I love the way that rolled edge looks. It really does look like a honey. I got several bubbles, but I love the bubbles actually in my glass, because I think it reminds me of the organic nature of it. And for this honey one in particular, that's great. I'm gonna slump that into a little platter, and I think that'll be perfect. And then look at this one. So it looks like I was over the edge of the tile and didn't realize it, so I lost that edge there a little bit, but overall, that looks amazing. Let's see if I can pick this up. Well, hang on. Yeah, oh yeah. This is a look that I'm really pleased with. Other than the side there, I can either cut those off or maybe try to fuse it flat again, we'll see. But look at that texture. That is exactly what I was hoping for. I love it. Okay, and it almost looks like the tile fused a little darker. I have to go back and look again. I don't really care about the color of the tiles themselves, but it looks like they got a little darker. And because I used papyrus, I could probably fuse on this again, no problem. Okay, well, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have and want to enjoy others, please hit the subscribe button to follow me. I'll keep posting more videos and sharing my learning journey with you. Have a great one, everybody.